Hey, how's it going, guys? It is time for my TLC review. I told you guys in my live coverage videos that I would do a review, and even though I missed a couple parts of some matches, I said I would do a review, so, I'm gonna keep my word and do a review here on at least what I saw from the pay-per-view, and what I liked and all that stuff. I gotta say, though, there was a lot of surprises in this pay-per-view. I mean, first off, well, this wasn't a surprise, but the first match was Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship, and it was a good match, very good match. Both guys, put on a great show, and in the end, Zack Ryder finally wins the United States Championship. It was a great moment, and actually his dad and the Big O were in the crowd, and after the match, he celebrated with them. And then he had Booker T backstage talking with Alicia Fox, but then suddenly he gets attacked by Rhodes, before the match. After that, I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, it was a tag team match between Air Boom and Epico and Primo, so it's a bonus match. It wasn't announced on the card before the pay-per-view. I'd say it was a good match. It was a good tag team match. And in the end, Air Boom wins. I was surprised about that. I was thinking maybe they wanted to punish Evan Bourne even more, so they would have made him lose, but no, Air Boom retained, so it looks like they're pushing Air Boom back again, and hopefully we get to see Air Boom defending the tag titles, on a regular basis again. I know they didn't defend the titles for, a month since Evan was suspended, but now that Evan's back, there's no reason not to. So after that, what did you have? Oh yeah, I think backstage, you had Josh Matthews, and he was talking to Booker T. Well, he wasn't talking to Booker T, but he was outside the trainer's room and, saying maybe we're going to have the match, maybe we're not going to have the match between Booker T and Rhodes, since, Rhodes did attack Booker T backstage. And now after this was an interesting segment. I didn't expect this segment. I didn't expect it to go the way it did. You had Teddy Long backstage, and he was dressed up as Santa Claus dancing to his theme music. And then Hornswoggle comes out, and he's dressed as this elf and stuff. Now I didn't listen to the whole segment, but at some point Hornswoggle says, "Since when is Santa black anyways?" I thought that was funny. I didn't expect that from PG WWE. A segment like this, I didn't expect that, but it was pretty funny actually. And at some point Teddy, says in his neighborhood there would be no fat white man going into the chimney, and it's somebody's chimney. So it was a funny segment, good segment. I'd say this is like Teddy Long's best segment like ever, or in such a long time. And I'm not a big fan of Hornswoggle, but since he started talking, he hasn't been that bad. So yeah. And afterwards we had, what did we have? Oh yeah, a tables match, Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton. Now this match, I expected the match to last a bit longer, but it was a good match nonetheless. Wade Barrett had so many opportunities to put Orton through the table, but in the end, Randy picks up the victory, and I gotta say, I liked this match, and the ending was freaking awesome. The RKO is just one of those moves that he can pull off out of nowhere, and because of that, it's one of my favorite moves, one of my favorite finishing moves. You can just pull it off out of nowhere, and the way he pulled it off is, Wade Barrett was about to win. He set the table up, he put Orton on it, he put him, on the table, and then he climbs up the top rope, and he's about to go for this elbow drop, or, fist drop. No, I think it was an elbow drop. So he goes for this elbow drop, he jumps, Orton gets off the freaking table, and hits the RKO on Wade Barrett in midair, and Wade goes through the table. So that was a pretty cool finish. And you could tell at the end of the match, Randy was proud. He was smiling. I'd say he was proud of what he did. That he actually, did it correctly. Just like, when Randy hit the RKO on Evan Bourne when he was hitting the shooting star press in midair. You could tell after he hit that, Randy Orton was smiling, and he looked happy, that he actually was able to do that. But anyways, yeah, like I said, cool match, cool ending. And afterwards, you had another segment with Teddy Long dressed as Santa. It wasn't that great, wasn't as good as the first one. You had the Bellows, telling him what they want for Christmas or something like that. It was boring. But anyways, he ends up, setting up the match between Sheamus and Jack Swagger, which is another bonus match for the pay-per-view, a match that wasn't announced. So Sheamus is on the cards. And afterwards, I think he had the Divas Championship, so that's another bonus match that wasn't announced. It was Beth Phoenix versus Kelly Kelly, which is kind of weird, since Kelly hasn't really been in the Divas title picture for, a short while now. It's actually Alicia Fox has been getting, some victories over Beth, I think, or Natalia, so I don't get why it wasn't Beth Phoenix versus Alicia Fox. But anyways, I didn't watch most of the match, but towards the end, Beth Phoenix wins with like a reverse electric chair, kind of like a face drop. It's a move that Big Show does sometimes. Like I said, it's just a reverse electric chair where the opponent's face lands on the mat instead of his back. So, anyways, after that, we had Del Rio backstage. He was yelling at Ricardo. Something about his car. He said he wasn't going to come out of his car, something like that. Then The Miz comes out. Well, he comes to talk to Del Rio and said when the bell is going to ring, there is no alliance. It's not like Raw where they both attacked CM Punk and double teamed them. And Del Rio said he knows that there was no alliance in the first place and that he was using The Miz. And yeah, they start arguing, and then, at some point, Ricardo comes back with some food for Del Rio, since Del Rio requested some food from Ricardo. So Ricardo comes back with a plate of food, and then The Miz pushes the food, throws the food in Ricardo's face. It wasn't that great of a segment, but whatever, guys. Afterwards, you had a match, Triple H versus Kevin Nash in the Sledgehammer ladder match, or ladder sledgehammer match, whatever, it's supposed to be called. And, I don't know, it was an okay match. But at some points in the match, Kevin Nash kind of looked confused, like he didn't know what to do next, or, what to pull out next, or something like that. And the guy didn't even attempt to climb the ladder to get the sledgehammer. I don't know if it's because of his legs, or I just don't know. But anyways, at some points, like at one point in the match, Kevin Nash got out of the ring, and then he quickly got back in the ring. Like, he didn't go get something from outside the ring. He didn't go get a steel chair or something like that. He just got out and got right back in. Kind of like when superstars, when it's a normal match, and the referee is counting to 10 when somebody's outside, and the opponent just gets out and then gets back in to break the count. Well, in this match there is no count, but Kevin Nash did something like that. I don't know why. But anyways, like I said, okay match. In the end, Triple H wins, and they actually pulled out a table in the match. I was surprised, about that, since, it's a ladder match, ladder sledgehammer match, so I was just expecting some ladders and some sledgehammers, just like I would expect, some chairs only in a chairs match, or tables only in a tables match, since, that's the way WWE works these days. But whatever, they pulled it out of the table. Towards the end, Triple H grabs the sledgehammer, but actually just before Triple H grabs it, when Triple H attempts to grab it, that's when Kevin Nash climbs up the ladder. That's the only time he climbed up the ladder to try and stop Triple H from grabbing the sledgehammer, but Kevin Nash did not go for the sledgehammer himself, when he had plenty of opportunities to take that hammer for himself. But anyways, so yeah, they're at the top of the ladder, and Triple H grabs the sledgehammer and hits Kevin Nash in the face with it, in the head, and Kevin Nash falls on top of, not on top, he falls through the table. The table was set up just like right next to the ladder, so Kevin Nash falls through that table, and then, Triple H gets a sledgehammer, starts beating up Kevin Nash with it. He hits the pedigree on Kevin Nash, and then the fans chant one more time, so I'm thinking, okay, Triple H might do, a second pedigree, but no, actually, he takes the sledgehammer again, and Kevin Nash is on his knees now, and he puts up the click sign, for Triple H, kind of like begging him to stop. But Triple H gives him this, the suck it sign, the crotch chop, and then hits him one more time with the sledgehammer to the head, and gets the victory. At the end of the match, Kevin Nash is, stretchered out of the arena. So yeah, Triple H won that match. And what else did you have? You had an interview with CM Punk backstage afterwards with Matt Striker, and John Laurinaitis came out, and John said he was gonna mail the Slammy Award to CM Punk, but because of the holidays, it's gonna take time to get to his house. But yeah, it wasn't that important of a segment. And afterwards, you had the World Heavyweight Championship match, Mark Henry versus The Big Show. And this is where the surprise came, the big surprise came. Well, two big surprises. The first surprise freaking Big Show won the match. Big Show beat Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship. Not by disqualification, not by countout. Mark Henry is no longer the World Champion. Big Show became the World Champion. Now keep in mind I said Big Show became the World Champion. I didn't say Big Show is the World Champion because he's not. Although he did win the title, after the match, Mark Henry attacks the Big Show. He goes for his leg and then DDTs him on top of the steel chairs. And Daniel Bryan comes out, cashes in his briefcase, just goes for the pinfall. He doesn't, attempt to move or anything like that since Big Show is knocked out, and he gets the victory. Daniel Bryan is your new World Heavyweight Champion. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Big Show winning this championship. Look at my freaking prediction game video, both the official one and the one where, it's Big Show versus Mark Henry, one-on-one. I think in both of those I said there's no way that Big Show was going to win. There was like no doubt in my mind that Mark Henry was going to win, the world title. There was no question in my mind, I wasn't wondering who was going to win. I was like, Mark Henry is going to win this one, guaranteed, But damn, was I wrong. I was seriously so surprised when Big Show got the pinfall. I mean, why? Well, first off, Big Show, in the match, Mark Henry was working on the Big Show's hand. So, Big Show hit the knockout punch, but with his injured hand, okay? And he took so much time to cover Mark Henry. He was holding his hand, and I was like, okay, he's stalling. So when he goes for the pinfall, they're like, okay, it took too much time, that's why Mark Henry kicked out. But no, he goes for the pinfall, and he gets the victory, even though he waited like 10 seconds before going for the pinfall. So yeah, and then Daniel Bryan, cashes in. He's the new world champion. Daniel Bryan became the champion. I was so surprised. And Big Show was looking on, just looking at Daniel Bryan. And I don't know, where they're going to go with this. Is Daniel Bryan not going to turn heel? Because, he cashed in on the Big Show, the same guy that was supporting him, the same guy that was encouraging him to cash in against Mark Henry. Or, I don't know, is he going to stay face? Maybe Big Show's going to turn heel and get mad that Daniel Bryan cashed in. I don't know. And who's Daniel Bryan going to face at the Royal Rumble? I mean, Mark Henry's the former champion. Big Show's also a former champion. Both those guys are entitled to a rematch right now, so I'm assuming, it's going to be a three-way match. That's the most logical decision. And if it's a three-way match, who is going to win that? So, yeah, it's really unpredictable right now. I don't know what's going to happen. Is Daniel Bryan going to hold the title until WrestleMania? Is Henry going to retain it? Is Big Show going to retain it? Maybe none of those guys are going to win the title. Maybe Randy Orton is going to be in a match for the championship at the Royal Rumble and win it. I don't know. Anyways, after that, you had the main event, I think. Pretty sure. No, we didn't have the main event. You actually had... I think I forgot to tell you guys that Booker got attacked a second time too. He was coming out for the match, against Cody Rhodes, but he got attacked again. But eventually, they had the match, and Cody won the match with the Beautiful Disaster, I think. I missed most of the match. I missed most of the matches today. But, I told you guys I'd post up a review, so here it is. I kind of wish, I watch all the matches in full so I could give you a better review, a more in-depth review. But whatever. The last match, a TLC match, three-way match, CM Punk versus Del Rio versus The Miz. And going into this match, I was like, okay, CM Punk's going to win this, no doubt about it. I was pretty sure CM Punk was going to come out victorious. And there